Computer. Welcome, Tracy Zhu, to the AACRE Network. We're so happy that you're joining us.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to join the team.
We just want our community to know a little bit about you. And so we're going to just throw you some rapid fire questions. The first one is from the amazing interviewer, Shanaka Hodges, which is, who are your people and where do you come from?
Thank you so much for that question. My people are those who grew up and was born and raised in San Francisco. I grew up in a Chinese American community full of immigrants. And so I really associate with a variety of different immigrants and the backgrounds that they grew up with, because there's always commonalities in families who have a foot in two different cultures. So as someone who grew up in an immigrant family, I have a lot of awareness of the challenges that people have in adapting to the United States, but also for those kids growing up American, just the cognitive dissonance that comes up when they're trying to navigate their family's cultures while navigating American society.
And what do you carry with you from your ancestors?
What I carry with me from my ancestors is a deep appreciation for the earth and the environment, and understanding that not just humans and nature are interconnected, but people and communities are interconnected, and that for better or worse, we are connected to a larger community, and we have a responsibility to a larger community. And so whether that means my responsibility to my big immediate family of 7 siblings, or my extended family, or chosen family, I really have an interconnection to a variety of different communities.
And what brings you to AACRE?
What brings me to AACRE is this deep commitment to expanding and building a more inclusive social justice movement. It really inspires me to know that AACRE is part of a multi-generational effort with roots with Chinese for Affirmative Action and Hyphen and other amazing groups that are part of the AACRE network. This is not a race to the finish, but a slow walk to build the world that we want to live in. And we have to do that with as many partners as possible. And so I'm really excited to be part of not just the AACRE network, but this larger network of APIs building from the ground up, building the world that we want to be in.
Yay, the world that we want to dream of. You are coming in a brand new role as the AACRE Deputy Director. What does that mean?
What it means to be the Deputy Director for me means a lot of different things. First and foremost, it just means I'm in a position to be helpful. Really, I am, growing up as a middle child, I really value people who are willing to just pitch in and do whatever it needs to get done to get to where we need to go. And so being a deputy director means doing a little bit of everything in service of our local leaders and community leaders to get to where we want to be. But in addition, the world that we want to live in doesn't currently exist. And so the existing structures don't exist yet to build the world that we want to see. And so I'm really excited to be the first deputy director in this role and to help build something that currently doesn't exist.
And what's given you solace during the pandemic?
As an extreme extrovert, the pandemic's silver lining has shown me that having quiet moments and more alone time doesn't necessarily have to feel oppressive, but I found solace and peace during these times of aloneness and isolation. And while in the beginning it feels uncomfortable, leaning into the discomfort has allowed me to grow in ways I didn't think I could as an extrovert.
Who do you turn to when you're looking for support at those times that are hard for you?
The people I turn to, or the people and spirits I turn to are my partner, my dog, and my family. During the pandemic, I was bubbling with my big extensive family that includes 6 siblings and 9 nephews and nieces and my mom. And so we had a pretty big bubble, but we were there for each other in ways that kept everyone safe and healthy.
What's your favorite, most recent favorite work of art? A book, a film, music? What's your thing that's bubbling up for you right now?
So I am really into the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once. It is hands down my favorite movie of all time. And it literally is everything everywhere all at once, but also a great metaphor for queer individuals who are feeling a lot of cognitive dissonance between what they have to do to show up for their families versus showing up for their partners versus showing up for themselves. And it can pull them in so many different directions, such that you get to this point where nothing feels like it matters, but at the end of the day, actually everything matters. And so that movie, to me, is a really great metaphor for a lot of different things, but particularly the queer identity.
Did your mom see it?
No, so my mom doesn't understand English and speaks Cantonese and Toisan, and so it was a really great metaphor too for my relationship with my mother, who sees the world from a very different lens.
There must be Chinese translations somewhere. That would be really interesting to see it with her.
The DVDs and the Blu-rays do have Chinese subtitles.
Wow.
And the movie's Instagram page actually provided some talking points on how to talk about the movie with your immigrant parents.
For real? Have you tried that yet or not yet?
She's really not into American movies at all. And so it's one of those things where she grew up. I mean, she moved to this country when she was 20 and had children continuously between the ages of 20 and 40, and really didn't have an opportunity to live into American culture. And so she worked at a sweatshop while raising 7 kids. So it was now that she's retired, she's trying to lean into like the things that she enjoys, and American movies is not one of those things.
Got it. Honoring where mom's at. Totally get it. Do you have a favorite place to go in the Bay Area?
I have many favorite places, depending on what my mood is. But having grown up here in San Francisco and in the Bay Area in general, there are a lot of these secret spots that not everyone knows about. For example, the Wave Organ, right past the Marina Green in San Francisco, was created by the Exploratorium. And it's a really cool tactile way to listen to the waves. That sounds like music, actually. Like it sounds like an organ in the ocean. That's one of the cool spots to go with friends and family. But in general, a lot of outdoor spaces are sort of my favorite places to go, like the Redwoods in the East Bay, or the salt ponds up in Sonoma, or the trails in San Francisco that are not very well populated. So I have a lot of great outdoor spaces that I like to retreat to.
Love the Wave too. It's so pretty. You have these yummy looking custards behind you. I'm wondering if that or something else is your favorite kind of food.
every time I go to Chinatown, I always have to pick up an egg tart. So that's one of my favorite foods. But again, with the Bay Area, there's just so many yummy favorite foods, but I will pick watermelon as my favorite food because it always reminds me of summer.
Love watermelon too. My last question is, what is one thing you want people in the AACRE network to know about you?
One thing I'd love for the AACRE network to know about me is I think a good metaphor is sort of a kayak club leader. I'm officially I am on the board of Kayaks Unlimited, which is a kayak co-op based in Baby Hunters Point. And how that is a metaphor for my type of leadership is the kayak co-op is a club that includes a lot of people who own private boats, but a lot of people like me who don't own boats at all. And we've set up a system where we share each other's boats or can sign up for our club kayaks. And as someone who joined the club without knowing how to kayak at all, I was able to join this club whose mission is to share the love of hand-powered watercraft with others. And by joining this club over a dozen years ago, I was able to learn how to rescue others, rescue myself, and get more skilled at kayaking. And so as a kayak leader myself, I now lead community paddles and bring youth and families and members of the public out on the water to share the love of kayaking with them. And so the aspects of being a kayak leader that I think will translate to being on the leadership team at AACRE is each one teach one. Every time I learn a new skill or gather some new knowledge, it only really benefits the community when I share it with others. Two, I don't have to be an expert in order to go into an activity or a project, and it's really about being resourceful and learning from those around me to become an expert. And three, it's really about bringing people together that really fulfills our full mission, which is providing public access to public lands and the water. Though no one person owns the water, no one person owns the shoreline, and similarly, no one person is responsible for driving a social justice movement. And it's really about bringing people together and creating accessibility and skilling up, where we really fulfill our full mission of helping people safely access the water. And so I think there's a lot of ways in which that philosophy translates to building up a social justice movement, where it really takes all of us to share with each other skills and knowledge to be able to row in the same direction. And so I'm really excited to do that with the AACRE team.
Yay, welcome, Tracy. I see in the future an AACRE Day on the Bay kayaking activity. Fun. We're so happy that you're joining our family.
Thank you so much. And I'm so looking forward to joining you all.